What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today, I'm pretty much going to rewrite the Avatar The Last Airbender story, but instead of Aang being the Avatar, in this story, it'll be Toph. We all know Toph was a world-class earthbender and an absolute beast, but how strong would she be if she became the Avatar? Would she be a good Avatar that saved the world from the Fire Nation like Aang did, or would she be a complete failure? Let's find out. So before the story actually starts, we need to figure out how Toph would end up becoming the Avatar. This portion of the video does not contribute to the actual storyline, but gives us some background and sets up the story itself. So if you're not interested, you can just skip to the next chapter. If you're watching this on a TV and can't see the chapters, then here is a timestamp. Alright, anyways, for those of you that are still here, we need to make it so that Toph ends up becoming the Avatar. In order for that to happen, Aang has to die. So let's assume that Aang did not flee from the Southern Air Temple and decided to stay there. As a result, the Fire Nation killed Aang, but thankfully he was not in the Avatar state, so the cycle continues. To be honest, I'm not really sure what murdering every single airbender would do to the Avatar cycle. It is definitely possible that the Avatar cycle would just end here, but there's not enough evidence to back this up. So I'm just going to assume that nothing would happen to the Avatar cycle until it comes to the next airbender. So after Aang dies, the cycle continues to water. For the sake of the plot, and because I need Toph to become the Avatar in order for this to work, let's assume the next Avatar was born into the Foggy Swamp tribe. I chose this area because there would be no way for the Fire Nation to find the Avatar here. I think it would be pretty interesting to see what would happen if there was a swamp bending avatar, but that's a different video for a different time. So let's assume this dude was super lazy and chose to neglect his duties as an avatar. And since he was cut off from the rest of the world, there was no one pressuring him to actually take action. Pretty much this avatar just did his own thing and did not care about the fate of the world. He dies at 88 from old age. The Avatar cycle continues to Earth, and Toph is born as the next Avatar. Now, the stage is set, and Toph Beifong is the Avatar. Her early life would mostly be the same as it was in the original series. Being blind, Toph's overly protective parents forced her to stay at home and not leave the house. They sheltered her from the world, and no one knew she existed. During her youth, she ran away and learned how to earthbend from the badger moles, and also learned how to see through earthbending. She also has her earthbending instructor, Master Yu, teach her the basics. Finally, just like in the original story, she enters the Earth Rumble tournament under the alias The Blind Bandit and wins a bunch of matches. Now here is where the story changes. One day, during her earthbending lessons with Master Yu, Toph becomes very frustrated learning the same beginner moves over and over again. Due to her rage during one of her drills, instead of earthbending, Toph firebends. This phenomenon is not unprecedented because we have seen avatars bend elements they haven't learned yet, like Korra did when she was young. Toph is so excited because she believes that if she tells her parents that she is the Avatar, they will not think she is weak anymore and feel that she can handle herself. Toph goes to her parents and talks about how she can now firebend and earthbend. "I am the Avatar," proclaims Toph. Much to her surprise, Toph's parents do not change their position and continue to remain overprotective. "If you are the Avatar, that means you must be protected at all costs. The Fire Nation is out looking for you, and we do not want you to get hurt," says Lao Beifong. An angry Toph storms out and yells at her parents. The next day, Toph has an earth-bending match in the Earth Rumble tournament. As usual, Toph is giving them the work. However, she is still very angry from what transpired the day before. In her anger, Toph firebends accidentally for the second time. The match abruptly stops. "Wait a minute," says one of the spectators. "The Blind Bandit is an earthbending champion. She can also firebend? That means only one thing. She is the Avatar." Jin Fu, the host of the earthbending tournament, disqualifies Toph. "You are not permitted to bend any other elements besides earth. For that reason, you are disqualified." Toph sadly returns home. Word travels fast, and soon many people learn that the Avatar is a blind 12-year-old girl who is the former champion of Earth Rumble 5. Our good old friends Zuko and Uncle Iroh are searching for the Avatar on land. Zuko overhears two people talking about the Avatar. What did you say? Asked Zuko. I heard that the Avatar was spotted in the Earth Rumble tournament, responds the man. She's a 12-year-old and goes by the name the Blind Bandit. The Avatar's blind? Questions Zuko. This should be a lot easier than I thought. Zuko, along with his crew and Uncle Iroh, travel to Toph's home. When they get there, Zuko talks to Jin Fu. Now we all know Fu's all about chasing that bag, so he will do whatever allows him to make money. The two of them talk and decide to come up with a plan to capture Toph. What's in it for me? Inquires Fu. I'll pay you handsomely, if this works, says Zuko. Fu sends out flyers advertising the beginning of Earth Rumble 6 with the words, Return of the Blind Bandit on it. Toph sees this and becomes enraged. First you disqualify me, and then you use my name for advertising? She makes her way to the side of the tournament before the start date to demand her name be taken off the flyer. Toph is greeted by one of Fu's men. Where is Fu? I need to talk to him now, exclaims Toph. Oh, he's just inside his office, says the man. Toph storms inside, expecting to meet Fu. Instead, a large metal box falls on top of her the same way it did in the original series. Let me out of here, exclaims Toph. Zuko pays Jin Fu and leaves with the Avatar onto his ship. He sets sail for home soon after. Prince Zuko, we need to pull over for a little bit, says Uncle Iroh. What? Exclaims Zuko. We are almost there. Don't be too hasty, Zuko. We won't make it the whole way without enough food. Reluctantly, Zuko decides to pull over to a nearby village for some supplies. During this time, Toph figures out how to metal bend the same way she did in Avatar: The Last Airbender. She runs out, but is greeted by several Fire Nation soldiers. Through the use of earthbending and her newly acquired skill of metal bending, Toph easily dismantles Zuko's whole crew. Through her seismic sense, Toph feels another presence enter the ship. A blast of fire comes hurling towards her, but Toph blocks it easily. It was Prince Zuko. I have trained many years to defeat you, Avatar, claims Zuko. Bring it, yells Toph. Zuko tries to hit Toph with consecutive fire jabs. Toph easily blocks it with a metal wall. She then separates the metal wall into 3 chunks and hurls them at Zuko. Zuko easily dodges all 3 of them. Zuko decides the best way to beat Toph is through close-range combat, so he decides to run in. Toph waits for Zuko to run in close and just at the right time stamps her foot into the ground, changing the terrain. Zuko falls and hits his head. Toph then takes the metal from the ship and wraps it around Zuko's body. She then picks up Zuko by bending the metal around him and throws him into the water. Toph leaves the ship and earthbends away as fast as she can. Zuko plunges deeper and deeper into the ocean, but, with all the strength he has, he manages to break the hold and swim to the surface. Disappointed, Zuko and Uncle Iroh go to repair the ship the same way they do in the original series. Then Zuko talks to Zhao. Zhao figures out about the Avatar by interrogating the crew, and then they do the Agni Kai. The result is the same, and Zuko, Iroh, and their crew leave on their ship. Zhao is very upset about his loss and wants to capture the Avatar before Zuko does. In order to get more information about the Avatar, Zhao travels to Toph's hometown. Once Toph escapes from Zuko, she takes the time to wander around and appreciate her newly acquired freedom. At some point during her travels, she ends up in the Senlin village. One villager sees Toph and realizes that she fits the description of the Avatar. Are you the Avatar? Inquires the man. What's it to you? Says Toph. Well, you see, for a while now there has been a terrible spirit named Heibai troubling our village. As the Avatar, you are the bridge between the natural world and the spirit world. You would be a great help. Sorry, old man, I can't help you, responds Toph. But, before he could finish his sentence, Toph walks away. Toph does not actually have any interest in being the Avatar. The only reason she was excited about it was because she would get some freedom, and now that she already has it, she doesn't really have any interest in accomplishing her Avatar duties. After a while, it starts to get dark, and Toph decides to sleep in for the night. As she is about to fall asleep, she hears the sound of screaming villagers and the destruction of buildings. Toph starts to feel guilty and quickly gets up to help the village. When she arrives there, she sees Heibai and tries to stop it with her earthbending. She hurls large boulders at it. This just makes the spirit incredibly angry, so it hits Toph and sends her flying in the other direction. Heibai then steals one of the villagers and starts to run away. Toph starts to follow the spirit and almost manages to save the captured man, but ultimately fails and is turned into a spirit, like how Aang was in the original series. Then she meets Roku's dragon, and the dragon takes her to Roku's island, and everything that happened in the original series happens again with a few differences. One key difference is that Toph does not have Appa, so one of the villagers helps her get to the island by boat. Additionally, Admiral Zhao is not there this time because he has set sail for Toph's home, so unfortunately this awesome scene with Roku never happens. Also, Zuko does not temporarily stop Toph like he did to Aang because Toph has seismic sense and can feel Zuko's presence. Toph gets into Roku's room by tricking the fire sages to open the door in a similar way that Aang did. Although reluctant earlier, after listening to Avatar Roku, Toph now knows what she has to do to save the world and begins her Avatar journey. After learning of Toph's disappearance, Toph's parents decide to contact a bounty hunter named June in an attempt to find their daughter. Since the Beifongs are a very rich family, June obviously accepts the offer and plans to meet the Beifongs the next day. In the meantime, Lao and Poppy Beifong begin to question Jin Fu about Toph. Jin Fu, obviously being a huge snake, will not admit to helping the Fire Nation, but instead acts like he does not know anything. "So you have no idea what happened to our precious Toph?" questions Poppy. "Unfortunately, I do not. Maybe you can ask around and see if anyone else knows anything," responds Fu. "But you must know something, sir," reasons Lao. "According to many people, Toph has spent a lot of time competing in your tournament, and—" "I don't know anything," interrupts Jin Fu. "Get out of my sight." "What seems to be the trouble?" questions a man in Fire Nation army armor. "I'm sure I can work it out for you." "Who are you?" sneers Jin Fu. "My name is Admiral Zhao. I am a high-ranking officer in the Fire Nation. I am looking for the Avatar." Fu is confused. "I already helped one of your men capture the Avatar. Why do you not have her?" "You what?" yells Lao. "Ah, so it was you that helped out Prince Zuko. Well, unfortunately, it seems your little plan was a failure because the Avatar escaped." "Well, unfortunately, I can't help you then," states Fu. "Well, perhaps you can't, but you still deserve to be punished for helping a traitor to the Fire Nation." Fu glares at Zhao and decides to fling a boulder at him, but Zhao quickly ducks. The Beifongs try running away. "Soldiers after them!" yells Zhao. Fu tries hitting Zhao with another attack, but Zhao avoids it. Zhao begins to throw a barrage of fire jabs. Fu manages to avoid a few, but eventually succumbs to Zhao's fiery rage. Zhao walks up to the defeated Jin Fu. "Not so tough now, are you?" taunts Zhao. Fu tries a last-minute attack, but Zhao steps on his hand. "Today you die," says Zhao. Meanwhile, the Beifongs are tied up by Fire Nation soldiers and are being asked questions about their daughter. "I'm not telling you anything," exclaims Poppy. "Persistent, are we?" sneers Zhao. "Well, we are just going to have to break that spirit then." Zhao burns Toph's parents in order to pressure them into spilling some information. After several hours, Zhao learns nothing. Zhao becomes enraged. "I am the great Admiral Zhao. You will tell me what you know." "There's nothing to tell you," yells Lao. Zhao drags the Beifongs by the collars of their shirts. "Wait, what are you doing?" asks Poppy. "Please stop this," pleads Lao. "I am the mighty Admiral Zhao. If you won't listen to me, then say goodbye to your life." Zhao throws the Beifongs down the Earth Rumble Tournament's platform head first. Their breathing stops. The Beifongs are dead. Zhao and the Fire Nation soldiers walk away from the scene. Master Yu peers out of the door after having seen the whole incident. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. If you guys made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe. I really enjoy making what if videos, so I'm definitely going to be doing more in the future. Part 2 of this series will be out soon. I initially wanted to fit everything in one video, but unfortunately my computer wouldn't allow it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in part 2.